Good morning, students. This is your Maths 1 online teaching session. Again, revision time. Today, we will be revising our second chapter, that is real numbers. Let us quickly look at the concepts that we need to remember from this chapter. We started it with the basic definition of real numbers, that is, rational numbers and irrational numbers together are called as real numbers. Now, what are rational numbers? Rational numbers are those numbers which are written in the form of P upon Q, where this denominator should not be equal to 0. Okay, all these numbers are called as rational numbers. What are irrational numbers? Irrational numbers are non-perfect squares. Now what are they? Suppose I write 13. Is it a perfect square? No. So it is an irrational number. Or when I divide this 22 upon 7, if you divide this, you will find the answer that it is non-terminating and non-recurring. So all such numbers are called as irrational numbers. Okay. Then we have learned decimal representation of rational numbers are terminating and non-terminating recurring. That when I divide a rational number, suppose I give you a rational number like 1 upon 2. When you divide this, is the division coming to an end? Yes, I get the answer as 0.5. This is terminating. Then what is non-terminating? Suppose I give you 2 upon 3. When you divide this, what is the answer that you will get? Yes, 0. It will become 20. 3, 6 are 18. Again it will become 2. Again 18. See, it is continuing to divide. Yes, 0.6666. Division is not coming to an end and the quotient has started repeating itself. This is the meaning of non-terminating, division not coming to an end, and reoccurring. Reoccurring because the quotient is repeating itself. I hope you have understood these two important points. Okay. Next thing what we have learned is a important property based on which we have solved few exercise sums. Now the property or the important concept was, if prime factors of the denominators of a rational number are 2 or 5 only, then its decimal expansion is terminating. Now for example, if I give you suppose 7 upon 25, what are the prime factors of the denominator? 5 into 5. Yes. Now without solving also I can say that the decimal expansion will be terminating. Why? Because it is having 5 in it. 5 and 2 only, then it is terminating. Otherwise it is non-terminating, reoccurring. I hope you remember this, that this we have done as a practice set sums. Okay. Right. So write all these important points to remember from this chapter. After this, we have learned one more very important concept about surds, right? So many find it difficult. Let us quickly understand the basic definition of it. Nth root of a is called as a surd when this number which is written as here as n is called as a order. The sign which is used here is called as a radical sign, and the number which is written inside the radical sign is called as a radicand. Now what were the three important points that I need to remember for the definition? That this order n should be a natural number and it should not be equal to 1. Means it should be greater than 1. Okay. The radicand should be a positive rational number. It cannot be negative. And nth root of a itself should be an irrational number. Now these were the 3 points that we need to remember, that order should be greater than 1, should be a natural number greater than 1, radicand should be a positive rational number, and nth root of a should be an irrational number. Now I'll give you 2 examples here. Suppose I give you square root of 25 and square root of 13. Okay, let's see the conditions. Order should be natural number but not equal to 1. Here order is 2. Nothing written means 2. Nothing written means 2. So the first condition is satisfied in both the cases here. The radicand should be a positive number. Is this 25 a positive number? Yes. Is this 13 a positive number? Yes. So the second condition is satisfied here. Nth root of a should be an irrational number. Do you know the square root of 25? Yes, it is 5. Square root of 13. It's a non-perfect square. So as such you cannot predict the answer here. So out of these two, nth root of a is an irrational number is satisfied in this case. Here I am getting a rational number. Okay, so even though the first two conditions are satisfied, the third one is not satisfied. So square root of 25 is not a surd, whereas square root of 13 is a surd. I hope you have understood this concept with the help of these examples. Okay. Now let us move to the next concept. Rationalization of surds. This was another important concept that we have learned. Right? If the product of two surds is a rational number, then each surd is called as a rationalizing factor of the other surd. Now what is the meaning of this? If I give you root 3, right, and I ask you to convert into a rational number, root 3 if multiplied by root 3 only will give you a rational number 3. Why? See, root 3 into root 3 is what? Square root of 9, which will come out as 3, which is a rational number. So this is the meaning of the word rationalizing factor. Suppose I give you square root of 11. What will be the rationalizing factor? The number itself, square root of 11. Why like that? Because square root and square root of 11 into square root of 11 is nothing but 121. And what is square root of 121? 11. If you find this way it is difficult to understand, you simply understand that if I give you square root of 7, the rationalizing factor will be the number itself. Okay? I hope this concept is clear. Now what if instead of one term I give you two terms to rationalize? Then the concept of conjugate surds is used. Conjugate surds are useful for rationalizing binomial quadratic surd. Now what is all this? Do not get afraid. It is easy. See, I am giving an example. Suppose I have two surds taken together like this. See, this root 5 is one surd, root 3 is one surd. These are two surds which are taken together like this. They are called as binomial surd. Now how to rationalize this? To rationalize such binomial surds, we need to use the concept of conjugate pair. Now what is conjugate pair? Root 5 as it is, root 3 as it is, but when I want its conjugate pair, I'll just change the sign. If it is plus, I will write conjugate with minus. If I give you with minus, I will write it with plus. I hope you are understanding the concept of conjugate pair. Suppose I give you another example. Root 3 minus root 2. What will be the conjugate pair of it? Exactly same number. See, root 3 and root 2. But now since it is minus, while writing the conjugate pair, I will write plus. So this way, these are the rationalizing factor when it is conjugate pairs or binomial surds are there. And last point, product of two conjugates is a rational number. Now this concept we have used when we were solving sums based on rationalizing the denominator. Okay. So please write all these very important points to remember from this chapter. After this, I have collected few important multiple choice questions which can be asked from this chapter. Let's see that. Which of the following is an irrational number? The options are square root of 16, square root of 12 upon 3, square root of 12 and square root of 100. Now do not be in a hurry to judge. Just see, square root of 16 can be written as 4. This can be written as 3 ones and 3 fours. Square root of 4 is nothing but 2. This is a non-perfect square, so leave it as it is. And what about this square root of 100? That is 10. So this is a rational number, this is a rational number, this is a rational number. But this is an irrational number. So out of this all options, which one is the correct one? Option C, that root 12 is an irrational number. So work out everything. Don't be in a hurry to quickly mark something. 12 upon 3. You see a fraction and decide, yes, it is an irrational number. So this can be reduced. 3 ones and 3 fours are. And square root of 4 comes out as 2. Which is a rational number. Okay. So let's see the next one. The product of a rational and an irrational numbers is dash. Options are always an integer, always a rational number, always an irrational numbers, sometimes rational and sometimes irrational. Okay. Now this type of sums, if you find difficult to understand, take an example on your own. See, product of rational. So if I take 5, okay, product means multiplication. Irrational number, randomly take any irrational number. Suppose I take 2. What is the product of this? Will you write it as 5 2s are 10, or will you write it as square root of 10? It will be as it is, 5 square root of 2. What type of number is this? This is an irrational number. So is it an integer? No. Is it a rational number? No. Is it an irrational number? Yes. Sometimes rational, sometimes irrational? No. It is always irrational. I hope you are understanding this sum. Okay. So out of all this, which option is correct? Option C, that always an irrational number. Okay. So when you find statement sums difficult like this, take an example on your own in order to understand that statement. Right? Okay. Let us move to the next question. The next question is this. 4 root 5 plus 5 root 5 is equal to, options are 9 root 5, 9 root 10, 5 root 10, 7 root 5. Now many will immediately start adding. 4 plus 5 is 9, root 5, root 5, root 10. Maximum of you will do option B. Let's see why it is wrong. Now 4 root 5 plus 5 root 5. Okay. Now this root 5 can be taken common, which I have taken here. And 4 plus 5 is nothing but 9. So the correct answer is not 9 root 10, but it is 9 root 5. I hope you have understood. Again I am telling you, this working is just for you to understand. In exam you will get this options like this. You just have to tick the correct option. So out of this, option A is correct, 9 root 5. Okay. So I hope this is clear. It is addition of two surds, which we have done as a practice set sums. See the next one. Now multiplication of two surds. Square root of 12 into square root of 15 is equal to dash. Options are 5 root 6, 6 root 5, 10 root 5, square root of 25. Okay. Now again let us work it out. Square root of 12 into square root of 15. Now try to understand this. Square root of 12. What are the factors? 4 into 3. 15. What are the factors? 5 into 3. First step is only factors I have written. Now square root of 4. What will come out of the radical sign? 2 will come out. Correct? Root 3 will remain under the radical sign. This I am separating root 5 into root 3. Okay? Now see. 2 as it is. Root 3 into root 3. What is it now? Root 3 into root 3. 3. And root 5 as it is. So 3 2s are 6 root 5. I hope this step is clear. Factorize it. See what can be taken out of the root sign and what can be left inside the radical sign. Accordingly write the answer. So for this, which one is the correct option? Option B, 6 root 5. This is multiplication of two surds. We have learned addition, subtraction, multiplication, division of surds in practice set sums. See how they can be asked. Now if this is asked, it can be asked for 2 marks. Right? Okay. Let's see the next question. Now this is also a 2 mark question. It depends upon the modulus. Thus we have learned. If mod of 8 minus x upon 2 is equal to 5, then the value of x is dash. Options are minus 2 18, minus 1 9, minus 18 2, minus 9 minus 1. Now we really need to work out. Orally we can't find out the answer. So this is a 2 mark question. Let's see the steps. I hope you remember this. When we take this number out of the mod sign, we always take two values of this. It is plus or minus 5. Okay. So see, 8 minus x upon 2 is equal to, once I am taking plus 5, once I am taking minus 5. Now this 2 will go here and multiply both the cases. It will be 8 minus x is equal to 10 and 8 minus x is equal to minus 10. Correct? Now what? After this, shift the terms here and there. So minus x will be 10 minus 8, minus x is equal to 2. We want the value of x. So x will be minus 2. Same way this, minus x is equal to minus 10 minus 8, minus 18. Both the side minus can be cancelled. X is equal to 18. So which are the two options? Minus 2 and 18. Correct? So which option out of all this 4 is correct? Option A, minus 2 and 18. I hope this sum is also clear. A very important 2 mark question which can be asked. Right? Okay. Now let's see the next one. The product of 3 plus root 3 into 3 minus root 3 is dash. Now again product, but it is a binomial surd. There are two terms involved in this. Options are an irrational number, a rational number, not a natural number, none of these. Now we need to get the answer of this so that we can decide out of this which option is the correct one. So let us multiply 3 plus root 3 into 3 minus root 3. I hope looking at it you are understanding that this is a plus b, correct, and this is a minus b. What is the formula of it? A square minus b square. So this is the identity formula which will be used here. So 3 square minus root 3 square. 3 square is 9. Root 3 square is 3. So 9 minus 3 is 6. Right? Which is a rational number. See, it's not a natural number. It is a positive number. It's not a natural number. Is it an irrational number? No. Is it not a natural number? No. Then none of these? No, because it is a rational number. So which option is correct out of this? Option B, that it is a rational number. I hope you have understood this. So this working is required when such type of questions are asked. It is again a 2-mark question that can be asked. I hope you are understanding it. Now see one sum on division. On dividing 6 root of 27 by 2 root 3, the answer will be dash. Options are 3 root 9, 6, 9, none of this. Now let's divide and see. 6 root 27 divided by 2 root 3. So 6 root 27. 27 can be written as 9 into 3. Correct. Now this 9 will come out as square root of 9 is what? It's 3. So it will come out as 3 and 6 into 3 will become 18. I hope you understood how we got this 18. See, from here 3 will come out. So 6 3s is 18. After this what? After this, the terms which can be cancelled, we need to cancel root 3 and root 3, 2 1s and 2 9s. So what is the correct option from here? Option C, that it is 9. I hope this is understood. Now this type of division sums can be asked which can carry 2 marks in the exam. Is it clear? Okay. The next type. The rational number 0.3 dot means what? Reoccurring. Can be written as dash. Okay. Options are 0.3, 3 upon 10, 0.33, 1 upon 3. Now this is a very important type of question which was there in the practice set. What was the first step? Whatever is the given question, that we will assume as x. X is equal to 0.3 recurring. Now depending upon the number of terms which are reoccurring, we will multiply that by either 10, 100 or 1000. Yes. So since one digit is reoccurring, we are going to multiply by 10 on both the side. What we will get? 10 into x, and 0.3 recurring means what? 0.3333 and so on into 10. Now when I multiply into 10, what will happen? This point will shift one digit this side. It will become 3.3 reoccurring. Okay. These were the steps. After this what? We need to subtract. So 10x minus x. So 3.3 reoccurring minus 0.3 reoccurring. Okay. So what will happen after this? First 0.3 and 0.3 will get cancelled. 3 minus 0 is 3. 9x is equal to 3. So from here you can immediately get the answer. X is equal to 3 upon 9, that is 1 upon 3. 3 1s and 3 3s. I hope this is understood. It is a very important 2-mark question. So answer is option D, that is 1 upon 3. Correct? Okay. So I hope all these sums which we have done today, I have told you which type of sums can be asked as 1 mark, 2 mark and so on. You have understood. Practice on the same lines. It's not that exactly the same question will be asked, but the pattern can be followed. So please practice it. Okay. We will meet in the next session. Till then, thank you.